And before we put this completely to rest, I don't want to give short shrift to the claim that Josh Lambo made, because you mentioned it. The guy's he's a kicker, and he's warming up for practice, and he gets kicked in his moneymaker by the head coach. A scale of 5 on the 1 to 10 normal range of, easiest to hardest. That's a big deal. Big deal. You mentioned the commentary, and we didn't get into that. What Josh Lambo said. Now, and this, I'm not going to say the word that you said yesterday, and apparently it didn't get bleeped by Sky. Apparently there must have been a great Premier League match on yesterday.
Sorry, UK.
The guy on the button didn't bleep the S-bomb that Chris inadvertently or intentionally
got it
uttered.
Through. Woo! Yes.
So when Urban Meyer kicked Josh Lambo, he allegedly said, "Hey, Dip S, make your effing kicks," and he kicked him in the leg. That's when Lambo said to Meyer, "Don't you ever effing kick me again." And his response was, "I'm the head ball coach. Yeah. I'll kick you whenever the F I want." And again, Meyer denies this, and it's immaterial at this point. Meyer's gone. But man, just wow. And it's amazing to me that it didn't get acted on immediately. And questions I'm trying to get the answer to. We kind of danced around this earlier.
Yeah.
The Jaguars were informed the day after by Lambo's agent. Did they report this to the league? The league has no comment, and all that may or may not imply. I've asked the Jaguars, did you report this to the league when it happened? We'll see what their response is. But, this is an incident of workplace violence at a time when the sport has evolved past that, or at least we'd like to think it has. We all have stories of coaches laying hands or kicking. I've told you this before. One of the reasons I never stop, one of the reasons I constantly go, one of the reasons I am wired to work myself into an early grave is because when I played grade school football, if you stood around for too long, you got kicked in the ass by the coach. And I'm telling you, and I probably need therapy for this, 45 years later, I will not stand around because a cleat is going to hit me in the ass if I do. And some would say, oh, that helped make you who you are. Well, yeah, but it also messed me up a little bit. And I'd like to think that the sport has moved past that. So when something like this happens, it really strikes a chord for me, and it makes me wonder whether people did the right thing. And it sure looks like it got tucked away in, right next to the Dan Snyder Washington football team file. Let's just forget about this. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. But, look, it finally came to light, and I hope there's more of a discussion about it, and it doesn't get forgotten simply because Meyer got fired.
No, I know. And I think the other thing that we need to stress off of, I'm glad you went back to Lambo in the story. You're right, because we didn't really hit what he said. This is to me like the big thing. I mean, Josh Lambo wants jobs in the NFL. This just doesn't happen very much, where a guy says something like that about a coach. You're viewed as a tattletale if you went, too crazy on telling a story like that, and other coaches wouldn't want to deal with you. You're in danger of doing that. But I think this was significant enough, and he probably knew that enough people saw it, and of course it sounds like it was documented, that he felt comfortable at this point to say it, also knowing that hey, the tide had turned, and most of the NFL world, media, everybody had looked at like, whoa, this Urban Meyer thing is totally dysfunctional and crazy, to where he finally had the guts or the ability to talk about it. But, these things don't happen very often, especially for a guy who's not in the most secure job environment, in the country as far as jobs are concerned. So I think that just tells you how significant of a kick it was and how crazy things were there in Jacksonville, too.
I remember when Parcells took over in Miami, one of the first things he did was get rid of Jay Feely, because kickers should be seen and never heard.
Yeah.
You come out and kick,
right.
Otherwise I got no use for you.
Right.
So there are going to be plenty of coaches who aren't going to want to have Josh Lambo around. Now, he'd been unemployed since he was let go by the Jaguars, but his phone's not going to ring today. He did something very brave, because he's basically slammed the door on any opportunities he would have in the NFL, unless Darrell Bevell needs a kicker. But Darrell Bevell may be grateful for what, and I say that somewhat facetiously, but for the most part, you've got the scarlet letter now. You don't have a skill that is sufficiently rare to justify bringing in a guy that may cause me trouble here or in the future.
Right.
There are too many guys who can kick a football between the uprights or punt it 60 yards. The supply far outweighs the demand. So it was brave and honorable that Lambo did it. And, I bet he wrestled with it. I bet he struggled with it through the incident in October.
Right.
And, when's the right time to come out and just basically protect people in the organization from being bullied verbally or being hit, kicked, struck, have something thrown at them, whatever it is Urban Meyer would have done as the ship sank inevitably. And, he may have helped some people there avoid some ugly, awkward exchanges as this thing was disintegrating, because it otherwise was. I think this was going to happen after the season anyway.
Agreed.
It's good that Josh Lambo helped bring it to a head now.
Yeah, definitely. And again, because it's so dysfunctional there and it was so bad, I think other coaches will look at him and I think there'll be enough out there to where, he'll get other opportunities, because I think the NFL.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so, because I
so.
think there's enough coaches and people out there that realize, like, Urban Meyer was in way over his head and things were crazy down there. And I don't think they'll hold this against Josh Lambo, because they're going to go, what? He kicked you like that hard? Like, because no coach would do that. None. Like, nobody would do that. So that's where I think, he does get other chances as we go along here.
Well, again, let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, the USFL coming back in the spring. I mean, look, plenty of guys are going to go there and kick and prove themselves, and they'll get to the NFL
That's right.
that way. There are going to be more football opportunities for players of all kinds.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.